Now, when it comes to dealing with reporters, dealing with the news, let's take a look starting with Pierre Poilievre. Here's the pleb tweeting out, Pierre Poilievre is really proud of his record-breaking crowd sizes, so much as he focuses on a mainstream reporter to admit how big his rallies are. The reporter was trying to downplay the size of his crowd. Let's just listen to the audio here for a second. Listen to how Pierre Poilievre handles himself very, very properly, maturely, and very hilariously with this reporter. Let's take a look.
How did you like our rally last night?
Well, I wanted to ask about your rallies.
Thank you.
And whether size matters. I actually want to know.
First off, I got to say, I love that he's laughing at the size matters jokes. I mean, nobody can measure up to the size of PP's rallies, if you see what I did there. Let's take a listen.
About your rallies and what your strategy is and who you're talking to, because you bring up things like woke mob, Century Initiative, bulldozing the CBC. I'm exaggerating, but getting rid of CBC HQ. At what point are you just talking in an echo chamber to people who already feel that way, or do you feel like these are broadening the tent of support to liberal or undecided voters to get them on board with your campaign?
I think it's pretty broad. I think how many people do you think we had last night?
Thousands.
Well, that's pretty obvious. I think you can be more precise than that.
I don't. I mean, the party said 10,000 register. There's reports of 15. I really can't say.
One last question. When was the last time we had a rally that big in Canada?
I don't know. I've never been to a political rally that big, I don't think.
You know a lot about politics.
Well,
you're a very well-informed person. I know that if there were a bigger rally than that, you would know about it.
So again, Pierre comes out very charming, very nice, very soft with the reporters, even when he disagrees with them. However, when you look at Mark Carney, who can't even fill a pub of 80 people, by the way. Let's take a look here. Brian Lilly tweeting out, Liberal leader, now this happened just today. Liberal leader Mark Carney lashes out at a Globe and Mail reporter for asking questions about other countries and the people he's met with. Now, forgive me for the censorship, folks. Anytime I mention the C word, this channel gets completely censored, which reminds me, if you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button, join the channel, support it, because we're being censored into oblivion. Follow all Canadian content providers that you know that support politics on the channel. They're all being censored out. Now's the time to do it. Let's take a look at Mark Carney's answer here and the way he treats reporters. Again, remember how Pierre talked to the reporter, even when he disagreed. And now let's look at Mark Carney.
Hi, Daniele, Globe and Mail. My colleagues have a story today about a Liberal candidate's relations with China-friendly groups and a meeting that you also held with a pro-Beijing group. So my question is, why did you meet with this pro-Beijing group, Jiangsu Commerce Council of Canada? And is the party okay with the fact that Liberal candidate Peter Yan has been so close?
Now, do you see him looking down as he's doing this and stammering around? He's getting very annoyed with the question. He gets annoyed anytime somebody asks him a question, but you can tell that this really gets under his skin. He's not happy.
With the Chinese consulate and China-friendly groups, given the public inquiry into foreign interference, says that this is a tactic China uses to exert influence.
Okay, well, I'm sorry, but you can't believe everything you read in the Globe and Mail. So in your question, and I guess in the article in question, you said I had a meeting with whatever your term was, Beijing group. I've never heard of this group, okay? Never heard of this group. Certainly didn't have a set-up meeting with this group. Full stop. So check your sources before you write things like that, okay? Wow. Or your colleagues do. I'm a politician. I go to events where there are hundreds and thousands over the course of a day of different people there. That is not a meeting. If somebody happens to be in the room and takes a picture with me, that's not a meeting, okay?
So what's really funny about that statement, if you guys will remember, there's other people he's held meetings with that he says, oh, they were just in the room. They usually vacated around islands. I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but this is what Mark Carney does anytime he's associated with somebody that really doesn't have the best interests of Canada at heart, is that, oh, they were just in a room with me. I don't know them personally. I can't help if those people are in the room with me. Not only telling them to watch their sources, but saying full stop, you can't trust what the Globe and Mail says. What? Now, it gets worse.
First point. Secondly, with respect to Mr. Yun, This is a person who has served his community for decades. This is a person who's deputy commissioner of the police. Okay, a person in discharge of those responsibilities meets with a variety of community groups in the community because that's his job. That's his responsibility. We're proud to have him as a candidate, and I honor his service, including on today. Thank you.
Sounds like another teaching moment there, Mark. I mean, this is absolutely absurd. Now, again, the way he handled by lashing out at that reporter versus how Pierre Poilievre handles it. Who do you want going to other countries and negotiating for Canada? Who do you want representing us on a global stage? Do you want this Grinch on stage, or do you want Pierre Poilievre? That's the real question. Completely unreasonable. Now, this is a guy who also doesn't like the press asking him questions. He's banned the media from several events. But when he was asked about this a while ago with the interference, we know about the compromised MPs in the House of Commons. The media has the right to ask these questions. We have the right to know who's involved in Canadian politics and who's swaying our elections. We now get into this clip from last week where Carney was asked why this country likes and praises him, and he claims to not know why. But notice one thing. He doesn't condemn it. He doesn't put it down. He doesn't say it shouldn't happen, that he disapproves of it, that it's a plight against our democracy. Nothing. You know why? Because he's in on it. We all know that. Let's take a listen.
Why do you think that China, the PRC, seems to like you? Why are they praising you?
I have absolutely no idea, and I have absolutely no idea, and I think I'll leave it at that.
I have absolutely no idea, and I'm just going to leave it at that. No bit of, I don't agree with it. I don't think it should be present in our elections. I don't think it should have anything to do with our election. Nothing. Nothing at all. Not even a murmur. Why? Because he wants it. He's enjoying it. This is why, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll say it again. I know you're going to get fed up with it. I'm not going to stop saying it until the end of the month. Make sure you get registered. Make sure you go and vote. Get your voter's card. Make sure that you either go early to vote or you stand in line on election day. Do your due diligence as a Canadian citizen. Vote in the next election. I want to see an above 60% average voter turnout nationwide on election day. I highly doubt we will, but the only way we're going to do it is by pushing and keeping the pressure on as we move forward towards the election. With a reminder, next week, come hang out here live with me as I'm going to live stream Pierre's and Mark Carney's debate. It's going to be a slobber knocker. I'll be doing that Thursday here on the channel. But while you're doing that, if you enjoyed this video, if it was your first time here, let me know your thoughts down below on Mark Carney and how he handles the press. Let me know your thoughts on how Pierre handles the press and who's the better advocate for Canada. But also join me on Fridays, every Friday, tomorrow and every Friday, for Friday Night Fringe, our live streaming weekly show, where I'm joined by the beautiful Mrs. Fringe as we go back and forth throughout our greatest community on the platform, discussing everything that happened in news this week, everything that we know that's coming up ahead, as well as hearing what you have to say outside of making these videos. I look forward to those live streams, and I look most importantly forward to hearing what you have to say tomorrow night and every Friday night here on the channel, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you on the next one.